This book is called Decoding Strategies CRA. Um, Siegfried Engelman, Linda Meyer, Linda Carnine, Wesley Becker, Julie Eisel, Gary Johnson. This book, I read some of the stories. They're very interesting about persuasion or dealing with bullies. This one's called. This story is called A Chunk of Ice Down the Back. Irma had warned the others, but they didn't take her warning. They yelled at her and told her that she had a lot of nerve for talking to them that way. Irma did not fight with them. She sat and ate her taco while they yelled at her. Then she cleaned up the kitchen while they went into the living room, and when they were watching TV, she went downstairs. She was pretty mad. At first, she wanted to do the meanest thing she could think of. But she sat and cooled off for a while. Then she said, I must think of a plan that is clever. After thinking for a while, she said, I've got it. She got a pick and a hammer. She broke a chunk of paint from the pot of invisible paint. She began to rub the paint on every part of her. Then she slipped the invisible glasses on and went upstairs. Irma was thinking, they yell at me so much that they don't have time to fight with each other. I will fix that. She went to Carl's room. She felt in the pockets of Carl's coat. She found his car keys. She carried the keys into the living room. She walked behind Herman. He was chomping on pretzels and watching TV. Irma slipped Carl's keys into Herman's back pocket. Then she picked up Herman's glass of cola. She set the glass on a table next to Carl. Then she took a chunk of ice from the glass and dropped it down the back of Bertha's dress. Bertha shot off the couch. Woo! She screamed. Then she turned to Carl, who was sitting next to her. What's the big idea? She screamed. Carl said, What's bugging you? You dropped a chunk of ice down my dress. She yelled, and I don't think you're one bit funny. What ice? Carl said. I don't have any ice. I don't even have a glass. What do you call that on the table next to you? She yelled. She was pointing at the glass that Irma had taken from Herman. Irma started to laugh, but nobody could hear her because they were yelling so loudly. Herman was yelling, That's my glass! What's the big idea of stealing my glass? Carl was saying, I don't know how that glass got there. I didn't take it. Bertha was screaming, Are you telling us that the glass just jumped over there by itself? Are you trying to tell us that the chunk of ice just jumped down my back all by itself? One of the other boarders yelled, Will you all be quiet? I'm trying to watch TV. And the man on the TV was saying, Yes, we still have some of last year's cars that we are offering right now at a savings that you won't believe. Finally, finally, Carl said, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm not taking any more. I'm getting out. He stomped out of the living room. He grabbed his coat from the closet. He slipped into it. He reached into his pocket for his keys. All right, he said. Who is the wise one? What's the matter with you? Herman said to Carl. Just give me back. Just give me my keys back and I'll get out of here. What are you talking about? Herman said. Who has my keys? Carl yelled. Give them back right now. They were right here in my pocket, and some wise one lifted them. Fern yelled, Will you cut the noise? I can't even hear what they're saying on TV. The man on TV said, Come and look at these fine cars. We have one that is just made for your pocketbook. Carl was yelling, I want my keys. Bertha was yelling, I hope you can find them so you can get out of here, you bum. Herman was yelling, I don't know anything about your lousy keys. and Irma was laughing. All right, this is called Irma is being passive aggressive. She is. They were yelling at her previously. Now they're yelling at each other, but Irma, was the one that manipulated everything so that the others would fight amongst each other. Also, obviously, get out of here, you bum. The girl, Berta, she is a bully, but in fact, all of them are. All of them are bullies. None of them listen. They all jump to conclusions.